A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. It promises to be exciting as always. All things happening right about now, and we're excited to be here. I'm Yemi Adebayo. As we speak, at the European Championships, 2 matches currently going on that will decide what's going to happen in Group D. Also, we will take a look at what's happening with the Olympics just a month to the biggest sporting event in the planet. We'll also take a tour across South America to look at Copa America and the things happening there at Copa America. What's happening with Argentina, what's happening with Brazil. We'll do all of that for you as we go on the show. We'll also spare a thought for the Nigeria Professional Football League, what's happening with the rescheduled matches and possible outcomes and possible changes on the league table as a result of what's going to happen later on. So that's just basically the outlook of the show tonight. We'll also, WADA will be in focus, and we'll talk about what WADA is doing ahead of the Olympics. Once again, I want to thank you for joining us on the show and giving us part of your time tonight as we take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports, and I promise it will be worth your while. Before I introduce my partners on the show, I'd like to start the show tonight by taking a look at what is happening right about now at the European Championships. Let's just see what's happening. Before we came into the studio, it was halftime, 45 minutes of football played in both venues. And of course, this is what you have. The situation report is what we want to give you. And we continue with our promise to be your eyes and your ears just to let you know what is going on. If you have no means of monitoring what's going on at the European Championships, this is the situation report. Croatia and Scotland is a goal apiece. And of course, they're in the second half. Nikola Vlasic in the 17th minute put Croatia ahead. And of course, Callum McGregor scored the equalizer for the Scots. And of course, England and Czech Republic, Raheem Sterling got the 3 Lions ahead in that game. And it's been close. England has missed a couple of chances. The Czechs too pulling the strings, but it hasn't resulted into a goal. So that's what is happening. That's the situation report. And of course, we'll give you more when we have it. And trust us, we'll always revert to the European Championships when there's something new to talk about. Let me quickly introduce my partner in the Lagos studio. Of course, we'll be here from start to finish. Kehinde just joins me. Kehinde, thanks for joining me on the show. A lot to talk about. But first, my appreciation for you finding out time to be here tonight.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here. It's good to always do this with you on Tuesday night. And as much as there might be 1 million reasons to not be here, I think there is always 1,000,001 reasons to be here, especially to talk more about what's happening in the world of sports. And the Euros I just mentioned, I think that's one of the bright shining lights when it comes to being a sport lover at this time.
All right, so that's it. But we're not starting there tonight. We'll save the best for the last, if I can put it that way. But let's go to Tokyo, Japan, and tell you what is happening. Just 1 month before the Olympics starts, we continue with our countdown. That's it on your screen. Just 1 month. 31 days to go to the Tokyo Olympics, the biggest sporting event on the planet. And we're so happy that we've gotten to this point. And what do we have to report tonight? Dissenting voices going lower and lower and lower in spite of the coronavirus health issues. A lot of people still want to have the Olympics, and of course the organizers are of course toying with the idea of allowing 10,000 fans at each venue. They want to ensure that they do not have anything more than 10,000 fans. If that can be done, they will allow fans, but they also want that if there is a spike, they will have to stop the fans from going to the venues. So that's it. All right, let's talk about news from Tokyo. Kehinde, let's quickly let our viewers know that the organizers have unveiled 2 iconic posters that will be used to symbolize and promote the upcoming Summer Olympics and Paralympic Games. Of course, we've been talking about the Olympics. The Olympics, it comes before the Paralympics, but both go together. So you're looking at the Summer Olympics and, of course, the Paralympic Games. And they've, both the IOC, the National Olympic Committee, and the International Paralympic Committee have selected posters from among 20 official art posters created for the games, and what is the essence to be used to symbolize and to promote the upcoming Olympics and Paralympics Games. It is the first time a separate poster has been used for the Paralympics. So you're going to have one for the Olympics, one for the Paralympics.
Just to make it a bit more special, especially for the Paralympians.
Yes, and so the posters will be displayed at the Japan Olympic Museum in Tokyo until September 5, and the images will be used on some merchandise, and that's what you have on your picture. Japan, when it comes to innovation, when it comes to technology, when it comes to thinking outside of the box, trust these people. And I'm not surprised with what I'm seeing. They choose from 20, and you could see some of the others
exactly
side by side, but they had to pick one. There's spot for choice, but they had to pick one.
Creativity. You were talking about things that Japan is known for. I think that's another word that you know we could also have creativity. You find 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds in Japan
doing amazing things
getting into robotics games where they create the robots themselves with superpowers that you can only imagine. And you're seeing this now. Experts, not just government persons or IOC members, experts who know about creativity, how to check out the several artworks that are on ground and selected, you know, one for the Olympics and one for the Paralympics. That is to tell you that there must be a proper explanation for selecting those. Probably the artist himself or the creator has got a good explanation to why he did this, and they also saw reason to that. Some also, I saw some pictures right there, they looked as ordinary. Sometimes you want creativity to get your mind, you know, juggled. You want it to walk up your mind. You don't want it to just be as blank. Okay, it's about cycling because I already saw a man on a bicycle. No, you want creativity to go beyond that.
You want to glance at something.
You want to glance and then keep going back on it.
Your imagination begins to run riot.
Exactly.
You look at all of these things.
What is and you know, sometimes you have the smart part of you. Hey, I must get the jerk behind this, and then you keep thinking of that. And then also, I love the fact that there is one for Olympics, one for the Paralympics. It's always like the Paralympics is put under the Olympics. Overshadows. Sometimes it also, you know, happens that the moment the Olympics is over, a lot of persons forget they see the Paralympics, where some individuals that are like you and I are waiting to be Olympic champions, are waiting to be Olympians, also, you know, to take part in that. So probably this artwork would set a precedence where subsequent Olympics will have this. So you Olympics, you're finished. When you see that, you know, that picture that symbolizes the Paralympics, you don't mistake it for being, oh, is this still the Olympics? Or I'm seeing, no, this is especially for the Paralympics, and it is, you know, as beautiful.
All right, thank you.
And you talked about the sentient voices are going low. You know, I've given an example here. The NBA All-Star, when Angela Merkel gave a sanction that the Bundesliga can resume, a lot of persons raised eyebrow. Why? But after the first game, second game,
and the experiment is working.
At the NBA All-Stars, all of the players, the likes of the King, LeBron James, the Kevin Durant,
condemned it
but
outrightly. They had fun on the night.
They came out to speak about the fun they had. Like, you know, it seemed like the pandemic even made it more beautiful. And that is what we're saying. Yes, we've got our concerns and all of that. But the guys who are saddled with the responsibility to bring this to the fore also look at themselves and say, we're responsible to bring this showcase to the people. So it is coming together to be good. And I'm sure after 5 days of Olympics, you would even hear those voices asking for more. I hope everybody is safe.
I hope. All right. So let's just quickly move on as we talk about things related to the Olympics on the show. We'll talk about the World Athletics, World Anti-Doping Agency. We're talking about WADA on the show. By the way, Austin Okon-Akpan is with us. I'm going to bring him in shortly. But let's just quickly talk about WADA. And of course, there are concerns that people will use this period where there's COVID, where there's a bit of slackness in testing and all of that, that they might escape some of the scrutiny that WADA would have been able to bring on them. But because of the restrictions, COVID and all that, a lot of people say, but WADA has refuted that. And WADA has said, look, we don't have any problem with people trying to spike their system. You know, we're not worried about masking agents and all that. We'll do our job. We're saddled with this responsibility. Anybody trying to play games will surely,
It's called the Shamit Media.
Yeah. But let's listen to somebody from WADA speak to us on this. We'll come back and, of course, talk some more about the Olympics.
Testing is not the only weapons in anti-doping. You have other means of fighting doping, like the longitudinal profile in the athlete passport, storage of sample, etc. So it's not as simple as, thinking that because you're not going to get tested, you won't be caught. But also the reality that when there was no test, there was no competition. There was actually nothing. There was no training. So it wasn't a period of time where doping would have brought you any real benefits. And doping, taking a pills on your couch, watching TV doesn't do any good to a teacher. So yes, maybe some have tried to take advantage of that, but it's not something that I would say is a particular worry for us. For the Olympic Games, so those responsible for the test at the Olympic Games are the organizing committee under the authority of the IOC, and the IOC, as you know, has delegated the task to the ITA. So we are not directly involved into the testing during the games. What we will have is a team of independent observers that will be on the ground during the games, and they are observing that everything is actually being performed in accordance with the rules. And if they realize that things could be done differently or could be improved, then they have a daily interaction with the ITA and those responsible, the organizing committee, to ensure that some corrective action can be done on the day.
All right, so that was the DG of World Anti-Doping Agency, Director General Olivier Nigli, talking about some of the issues right about there and the efforts they will put into all of this. Let's quickly allow my colleague Austin Okonakman join in and pitch in with his thoughts on all of things happening in the world of sports. Good to see you, Austin. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight. You listen to WADA, and of course, there are worries, there are concerns in certain quarters that people will escape scrutiny. But WADA is having none of that, and they're also talking about the things they intend to do to ensure that everything works well.
Sporty greetings, Yemi, and of course to our viewers. Shout out to Kende Idris in the studio also. It's good to be on the show. So WADA needed to say that, because the fights they've been having with Russia and some other countries, particularly in terms of testing and ensuring that they keep the sports clean. So it's actually silly for someone to think that, because of everything that has happened, WADA will maybe take a back step and not, give it the sort of function it's expected to give at the Olympics. No, that's why they've come to clarify that testing is not our only weapon. Like you guys think it's the only way we test that we're working. No, that we've got profiling, we profile athletes, we monitor you, and that at the Olympics, they are playing the role of independent observer. So the ITA is in charge, working in collaboration with the organizing committee and the IOC. And so WADA just watch. So WADA says, wait a minute, with this testing, can we do it again? Can we say it again? So as independent observer, they will do their part to ensure that the supervision process is transparent and that they are actually doing the right things, the bodies that are in charge of the testing. It's all in a bid to make the sport clean. It's all in a bid to ensure that fair play is achieved, that nobody is cheating, and there's a level playing ground. And I think WADA is doing a good job. They've come under a lot of criticism, but if we look at it properly, they deserve some commendation with what they've done so far in terms of, ensuring that they bring athletes who cheat into books, make sure that justice prevails. And of course, let some persons that are thinking that they can have their way to say, look, don't mess with us, we're watching.
All right, a good one. So let's move on the show. Let's talk about an athlete that has gotten into trouble, and CAS had put the final nail on the coffin, so to speak. I'm talking about Chinese swimmer Sun Yang. She will miss the Olympics after he will, I beg your pardon, miss the Olympics after the Court of Arbitration for Sports decided that he has violated anti-doping rules, and CAS ruled that he is the reigning freestyle Olympic champion, and so he will be suspended for 4 years and 3 months. The swimming competition in Tokyo is due to start on July 24th, a day after the opening ceremony. If you're serving a 4-year ban, surely you will not be. I'll get your thoughts, Austin, but let me quickly get Kehinde Idris thought. Austin has praised WADA for the things that they're doing, and here is an athlete got into trouble, ran to CAS, but the reprieve wasn't what he got, and now a final nail on the coffin. You're going to serve it out.
Yeah, you're going to serve it out. Like Austin said, it's just to create a level playing ground for every athlete. Yes, we love to hear the underdog story. We love to hear from nowhere to somewhere, from being right there at the bottom, and you get to the Olympics, and the story just changed almost overnight because there is a level playing ground for everyone. And then when you come in that way also, you're properly checked so that you don't cheat others to just get your story to become, the story being on the lips of everyone without doing the right thing. So I like this that I am seeing for the Chinese swimmer. It's a sad one. It's a sad one. This is what you've been waiting for. Well, to be at the Olympics and all of that. Whether you've gone to 5 Olympics, every Olympics still feels like it's the first time. And he wants to go there and also do a lot of wonders. But it won't happen. I think these days, what I'm liking about WADA, I hear so much about their activities at a point. But right now, it seems they are working under, just quietly, and was seeing results. There were times it was them showing up on everybody's faces at every given time. But right now, you talked... Olivia Migli talked about the independent monitoring and all of that, where quietly we're monitoring your movements, your activities, and all of that. And when there is a question, that is when it is utmost to ask those questions. We come to you, and it's not just every day, every time I come and, come at your faces.
All right. Let me go to Austin quickly. And some will say Yang's case is long time coming. Rio 2016, I know you were at the Olympics. You probably would have heard a couple of things. Some who finished second, third after him refused to congratulate him. I think that there was even an athlete that called him a cheat publicly. So all of these issues had been out there, but now it has come to this. So first, are you surprised? And two, do you think all the things he's achieved in the past will be rubbished because it has gotten to this point? And I'll need you to do that for me quickly because we might go on a break very soon. But are you surprised, and do you think his legacy is tarnished already?
No. I mean, I'm not surprised, because as you said, it's a long time coming. And I like this verdict because it goes to show everyone that has looked up to Sun Yang to say, look, if I'm not clean, if I don't do the right thing, this can also happen to me. As you said, this is a swimmer who's got a world record holding title. In 2012, he became the first Chinese man to win an Olympic gold medal in swimming. Sun is the first male swimmer in history to earn Olympic and World Championship gold medals at every freestyle distance from 200 to 1,500 meters. And everyone will question this achievement now that he's been barred from the games. So it goes a long way to say again, well done to everyone who did what they could to expose him, because as we said, it's all about keeping the sport clean. It's about promoting integrity. So persons that have looked up to him now will say, look, if he wasn't doing the right thing, then they can't look up to him as a model. So I love this so much. And it's a strong message out there that WADA, everyone that is trying to make things work for sport to be clean. They're watching and doing their job. And if you think you can run to the court of arbitration for sport to present a case that is not, you're going to lose.
All right. That's a good place to leave it. And we're not done with the Olympics yet, but we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we talk about the Tigers and, of course, the invitation to a lot of players to try out for the opportunity to be at the Olympics. Let's go for that break. Come back for more on Sports Tonight. All right, welcome back. We're still on the matter. I was trying to see if there's an update to give, and it does appear there's an update to give. Let's go to the European Championships and give you that update. There you have it. Croatia leads now. They've scored another goal, so it's 2-1 in favor of Croatia. Okay, let's do a little bit of analysis. I know we'll have time for this later, but let's do a little bit of analysis. If it stays this way, Croatia still ends up in third position.
Yeah.
Because it appears that the Czechs will be on +1.
Yeah.
And they will be on 4 points, same as the Czechs, but they'll have a goal difference of 0.
The goal difference. And I think they need to start calling, Croatia needs to start calling England to score
more goals
yes,
to make it easy for them.
That would help. And I guess the Czechs are working so hard to change
But the situation is not grim. If it happens that the Czechs score and it turns out to be a draw, there are chances that Croatia would still qualify as the best loser with 4 points.
Because with 4 points, they've already... because right now, Ukraine have got a good chance. They are on 3 points. But with 4 points, you stand a better chance than Ukraine. And there is one spot
But
left.
like you said, I think what matters now is just concentrate on
your game.
Just keep
do
scoring.
The needful. Exactly.
Just
do the needful.
scoring.
Because if Scotland gets to equalize, that's another worry entirely. It's like game over.
The mathematics is gone.
It's gone off the window. So it's interesting.
Interesting times ahead, and trust us, we'll revert at every time to tell you what is happening. We'll give you our situation report and also put our analysis on it, so you know what's going on every time there's something to report. Let's go back to what I wanted to talk about before we went on that break. And by the way, Austin Okonakpan is still with us, and we'll be talking about the D Tigers. 49 players have been invited to camp. And what's on offer? 12 spaces on the D Tigers team, on the D Tigers roster for the Olympics. And I mean, I looked at the list, the names on the list, and you will be proud to be a Nigerian. NBA regulars on that list. And I mean, let me reel out some names. I can see Austin smiling as well. You have names like Monte Morris of the Denver Nuggets. You have OG Anunoby of Toronto Raptors. You have Festus Ezeli, Precious Ajua of Miami Heat, Udoka Azubike of the Utah Jazz, Jalil Okafor of Detroit Pistons, Josh Okogie, Minnesota Timberwolves, and some also in Europe and some other
EuroLeague.
Other parts.
Yeah.
Interesting. Kennedy, let me get your thoughts.
I think
I'll let Austin, have his say later on. This will spoil for choices. And we are also hearing about some players who have not decided yet whether or not, but are thinking about the idea, because an Olympics as for some people it's a one in a lifetime opportunity.
Yes.
Because in the next 4 years you might not be this hot
at this level.
Yeah.
And you might even age.
Yes.
You know how 4 years, what 4 years could do to you. A lot of this could have changed. You might still be at that top level, but maybe the coach wants younger players and you won't fit into that. Then also, you just said it. Being an Olympian in your lifetime is good enough. And this team is serving you that platform to be an Olympian. If you're waiting for the dream team, talking about the US, it's almost obvious you won't be there. So why not join forces like the likes of Bam Adebayo? Why not join forces with the Nigerian team and be an Olympian? Now, look at the names you just reeled out. These are exciting times that you feel if the best of the best are selected from 49 or even, let me say, more than 49, because we're still mentioning names that could still get a look in. If the best of the best are selected, the guys coming in, Greece, Lithuania, Spain, US, and all of that. everybody is beatable on the day. And you know, there's something about basketball, football, and all of that. Take one game per time. In the first round, it's 3 games for you to play. It's not like a knockout game where you play one game. If you do wrong, you're out. So you keep your discipline. Out of the 3 games, you try to qualify for the next round, and then you continue to dream. So it's exciting time. The coach is sports for choice. And also, Mike Brown, the coach we have now, seasoned coach, well experienced, very fast, NBA level. He understands the pressure that comes with all of this. He understands the kind of players that could execute games as huge or competition as huge as this. So I guess we'll make the best of selection. Maybe our fingers should be crossed for a very lovely ride when it comes to basketball at the Olympics.
All right. Let me go to Austin, who's equally excited as we all are. First phase of camping about to begin. We hear that players have started coming in since Sunday. But here's the thing. We're grouped alongside, I mean, of course, you already know, alongside Australia, Serbia, and Croatia, that, you know, for some of the things we're going to play in. But first, before we even talk about the Olympics, I just want to ask Austin, I don't know if you're excited. I mean, I look at those lists, I look at names, and also the prospects of some other guys probably still joining up with this team. It makes it exciting. And we are going to have 2 teams. We also have the ladies on one side. Does it change anything? Do you see us as a medal prospect in basketball, or just the excitement that we're going to have a solid team is enough for you?
Yeah, you know, I'm the guy who believes that COVID-19 has reshuffled the world. So anybody can go to the competition now, talking about the Olympics, with at least some level of good preparation, and then you stand a chance. You know, by the way, Nigeria is not a pushover in the world of basketball anymore. And if you doubt that, we're trying to tell you that we've got 13 NBA players. Mike Brown can say, okay, everybody, this selection is going to give me headache plus malaria. I'll just stay with these 13 NBA players and we'll say I have a team. You know, because he wants to make it competitive. He wants to watch, you know, the guys from different angles and see how he can pick the best of the best for the Olympics. And that's why he has called up 49 players. And I love the fact that they're going to have those warm-up games before the Olympics. That's why he's the coach. And Mike Brown has come with a lot of experience. He's got some technical depth. He understands play from the NBA because of his expertise in it. So I'm really confident he can pick some good players to the Olympics. By the way, anyone that makes this team merits it because they are all professionals. And if you doubt it, go look at their profile. I'm super excited that Precious Achiuwa of Miami Heat will get an opportunity to represent Nigeria. And if he does that so well, he's going to give Bam Adebayo a call and say, what were you thinking? You know, it's actually good to represent your fatherland. I also want to see Festus Ezeli. A lot of talents everywhere, Yemi. And yes, I'm excited because you want to say basketball in Nigeria is getting more competitive. Even if we take a look at it, even Ben Uzo, with all his expertise also, he plays for Rivers Hoopers. That's bringing development back to the country, which is exciting. So we're only just hoping that the basketball administration setup, the system, will be stable. We'll get purposeful leadership that can now translate all of this into sustainable development. That will be the biggest excitement for me because that's when we'll know that our basketball is growing. When it creeps into the system, it gets into the league level, goes to the grassroots, and then we just keep developing.
All right. It's good. It's good that you have reminded us in our excitement. Let's not forget about what is happening here. We know things are good with the national teams. You can't say the same for the growth of the game at the domestic level. So it's good to always remind ourselves. But that won't stop us from getting excited with this team and the prospects of what can happen in Tokyo. All right, let's leave basketball. We're done with the Olympics. Let's talk about football. But first, let me allow Austin have the first bite of the apple. In this case, let's take a look at a rescheduled game that will be played tomorrow. Abia Warriors and Ayimba will take on each other. And that's what you have on your screen right about now. Abia Warriors up against Ayimba. And It's going to be interesting. Eimba gradually climbing up, and now there's no distraction anymore. If they win this game, they might probably dispose the person. I think they're currently sixth, about seven. So they might just climb up a few notches higher. But also, let me get your thoughts on what you expect to see in this game. A lot of people are already saying that if there's any team that you should, at every season, think that they can be champions, it's Eimba. Aqua United looking good this season. Pillars, Nassau United also looking good. But you can't rule out what the Aba Elephants can do, especially if they start clearing the backlog very well.
Yeah, right now they've played 26 games and they're sixth on the log with 45 points. But you can't question the quality of Eimba in league football in Nigeria. I think their name alone, just make teams tremble. And of course, their nicknames, the People's Elephant. And when you know what it is, when you see the elephant, approaching you. So Eimba, they would want to, pick up points that will, take them closer to the likes of Aqua United, Kano Pillars, and to an extent, Nassau United, a team that has been very impressive this season. But Abia Warriors, since they moved to the Okigwe Township Stadium, they've not lost a game at home. They've been dominant, they score goals, and they are the sort of team that I always tell people why I like Abia Warriors, because they don't respect anything. They can come at you at the offensive at any given time. But Eimba just knows how to get the result against this guy. So let's see if they can do it again. But at the Okigwe Township Stadium, I seriously doubt it. And Abia Warriors, as it is on the log, they also see they need to consolidate because they are 13th. They've only recorded 8 wins and have 35 points. And that's because of the slow start they had at the beginning. Remember that long run of a losing streak that they had. But they've picked themselves back up, and if they win that rescheduled fixture, it will do a lot of good for them because they might climb up to about 11th on the log or 10th.
All right. And Eimba can be 5th as well. Let me get Kennedy's thoughts on that one as well. He's talked about Eimba, how their prospects, and of course, from what Austin said and what everybody who's been watching the Nigeria Professional Football League, you have to show Abia Warriors some respect as well.
You have to. The weekend games also showed what Eimba has been almost about in recent time, where getting goals has been a top problem. Also, the rescheduled matches. At the time, it was about 6. They played 3 and got just a point from 3.
So it's not going to be a clean sweep.
It's not.
As some of us thought.
I think the case of Eimba is a case of a bet and is worth 10 in the bush.
Yes, what more than 10?
It's just, you have the points at, and this rescheduled matches are as good as just being called rescheduled.
It's nothing until you win it.
They are not potential points. And that is what Abia Warriors might remind Eimba tomorrow. Not because Abia Warriors are so good, but these days there is a lot of question mark on what Eimba is doing as a club. Maybe these are games that helps you turn around the corner and then you start to do good. Look at the juicy position they might rise to. You get to win this and win the next one. You might rise as high as the 3rd or 2nd position on the log. Also, you might have teams at the top right there dropping points. So it opens the road for you more. For Abia Warriors, like Austin said, I think you need to really, really think about, the game when you're going to visit Abia Warriors. Also, when they visit you, they are not shy to score goals. So, Eimba, you should turn up the style if you want to get anything from this game. Especially, think about scoring, lots of goals.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, so let's go back to the European Championship because there's something to report. Let's do that quickly. Croatia scored another goal. It's 3-1 now. Ivan Perisic has scored for Croatia. Luka Modric scored the second goal for them. I told you earlier that Nikola Vlasic scored the first goal. Callum McGregor got a goal back for the Scots, but now it's 3-1. It appears like the Croats are listening to us. Yeah. Do your bit, win your game, forget about what is happening elsewhere. They're now on 4 points. Even if England and Czech Republic conspire to play a draw, they would still be in a good
automatic qualification.
Position. All right. So let's leave it at that for now because we'll have some minutes to talk about it when we're done with some of the things that we have. A lot of people have been asking questions. A lot of people surprised that for the Mexico friendly, Coach Gernot Rohr decided to go with just the home-based players. And Coach Gernot Rohr has had to answer questions about why he took that decision to call up players plying their trade on the domestic scene to prosecute that friendly against Mexico. And of course, one of the reasons that he gave is that the game falls outside of the FIFA free window, and it will be difficult to get foreign-based players to prosecute that game. Let's listen to Coach Gernot Rohr in his own words explain the reason or reasons why he had to, invite just home-based players to play that friendly. We'll come back to dissect what he said and, of course, look forward to how busy the remaining of the year will be for the Super Eagles.
We can compare to everybody in Africa. Actually, I think we are number 3 in Africa. They could organize more friendlies at home in Algeria or in Tunisia, and they won against weak teams, so perhaps they will come higher in the FIFA ranking. So we all the time have very good teams to play in the test games, and we don't play only for the result. We want to test our players and some other things, tactical things. So I think we can compare to Egypt. We beat them in a friendly, I think, 2 years ago. We played against Algeria, was very close. And Tunisia also, we won them in the bronze medal game. Yeah, I think we can compare. We have a lot of strikers, good strikers. We are trying to build a very good defense also. We found good goalkeepers now. The defenders were not coming. Everybody was injured. Balogun, Akpoguma, Ekong in the second game. Everybody was injured. Ajay, Ola Aina, Sanusi, so many injuries. Chukwueze now recovering from the surgery. It's friendly in July, it's not the Super Eagles. It's not the Super Eagles team because there's no FIFA window. They are in the clubs. They have the pre-season. You must explain to everybody that the Super Eagles cannot come to play. They are not free to come, and the clubs are not in the obligation to give the players, unfortunately. So we will go there with the CHAN team. It's a moment to prepare also the CHAN team for the next competitions, and we'll start in Abuja tomorrow the camping with these players. But I'm not the coach of this team. I'm only an advisor, and I will try to help them, of course.
Okay. He said a lot of things. And we're about to go on a break. But let me see if Austin can wrap this up for me in 30 seconds. Austin, you listen to him. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but what do you make of the explanation?
It's okay. I mean, there's always reasons to do whatever a grown man needs to do, So,
I know.
I like the fact that we have an opportunity for home base to play football. So I wasn't part of the group that were asking questions. So this is an opportunity for them to get some exposure, some opportunity for them to get national team experience. And of course, it's a win-win for them, and I love it.
Okay. Kayode Idris is laughing in the studio. He has something to say. He's going to say it after the break. Let's go on the break. We'll come back for more. We'll dissect Coach Gernot Rohr's response. And, of course, we'll take a look at what's happening at the Euros. Let's go on that break. We'll return for more Sports Tonight. All right, we're on the home stretch. A few minutes before we wrap things up here. And Kayode Idris has a thing or two to say while I'm searching for updates. You made me laugh while we were off air. But let me allow you to say what you want to say.
One beauty about life now is life finds a way to get at you.
Okay, quick update. England has scored, so it's 2-0. And it appears if it goes on this way, if Croatia is able to get a goal, they would qualify automatically.
It opens up.
Okay, the goal has been chopped off. So we'll put it back as 1. We'll put it back as 1. So VAR can do things like that to you.
Yeah.
So it's been chopped off.
Mind your celebration.
Yeah, you have to be mindful. They did it to Belgium yesterday. Romelu Lukaku celebrated only for his goal to be chopped off.
Take it off. Take
Yeah,
it off.
so, but that's the situation report.
It's still good for Croatia.
Croatia need England to score 1 more goal for them to qualify.
to pave way.
But your thoughts on that quickly?
I was saying, there is a way life gets to. This is again a row that we hardly see one MPFL player in his team. And now we're talking of all 25-man list.
Now, you questioned who invited him.
I asked a simple question.
Players for him.
You can't tell me he's the one that invited these players because he doesn't know them. Now, but the guys who made this selection, that work with you, is it that you've not been consulting them, or they've been speaking and you don't listen, or they are the ones that have not brought up names forward? Look at Enyimba, Rangers have 4 players. Kwara United play 2. Aqua have 3 players each. Rivers Casino have 2 players. This is the beauty of what we are talking about, really. And I like what's happening today. 25 players go there, and he said it's a moment to prepare the CHAN team. I think that's
time would not be enough for us to properly dissect all that said. Maybe we'll have more time tomorrow. We have just barely a minute to wrap things up here. Austin, your thoughts in a few seconds. Euros, England, huff and puff, don't deliver. Croatia, bad start, making amends. In a few seconds, your just sum up the 2 games.
Yeah, it's actually going the way I expected it to go, except for this goal that's just been, cancelled for England. I think they should consolidate, maybe win that one by 2-0 more if they can. But shout out to Croatia. They needed to fight in this one against Scotland, and they're doing just that. It will be very, very sad and heartbreaking if anything happens in that game between Czech and England, and then Croatia drops, because with this fight, they deserve to actually go through it.
All right, also, I want to thank you for your time on the show. We'll do this again some other time. All right, so that's my colleague, Austin Okon-Akpan. We have just a minute to wrap up this show, and just a minute before most of those games end.
Yes.
Croatia, Scotland 3-1, England leading by a goal. Your parting shot, Kehinde Idris, do you foresee any changes in the results?
No. I think it will just get better for the teams leading. That's what I see. I just want to say also, congratulations to Denmark. I think that's like the biggest story yet at the Euros with the Eriksen, and then they still got to qualify. All
right, so that's it. That's the much we can take on the show tonight. But before I go, let me just thank Kehinde Idris. I saw someone call you Kenny. I'll start calling you Kenny.
Yeah.
But today I'll call you Kehinde Idris. So I want to thank you for your time on the show today.
It's good to be here.
Always fun.
Always fun.
We'll take the conversation out of the studio.
We always do that.
And we'll laugh about that.
We always do that.
All right, thank you, Kehinde. All right, this is a wrap on the show today. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoyed this. We're back again tomorrow to do what we love doing best, taking you on a trip across the money spinning world of sport. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.